technology. Personal computers, one of the first personal computers introduced, was the Macintosh II series, released in 1987. Before this time, computers were very large and took up nearly an entire room. This was also one of the first computers to utilize a graphical user interface, or GUI. A GUI is the use of graphic icons and a pointing device, such as a touchscreen, mouse, etc., to control a device. We use GUIs in PCs every single day. CDs, also known as CD-ROMs, although going out of style today, were invented in the 1980s and remained popular until the late 2000s. Most people in the early ages used cassettes, but CDs allowed for more audio to be stored and the ability to skip tracks. Cable television. Cable television was invented in the 80s and is still prevalent today. Prior to cable, broadcasts were transmitted through the airwaves and received by satellite dishes at each home. Only several national channels and a couple local channels were available.
Meet Andrea, a child of the 80s with children of her own now. They love their technology, but can they figure out the gadgets she used to use?
We'll see. I don't know. We'll see.
First up is Juliet. She's 8 and loves rocking out with her MP3 player.
Jonas Brothers.
But can she still rock out when we take away the MP3 and show her a cassette tape?
I don't know how to work this. Oh. Oh.
After some coaching and some prying, success!
Yeah!
Don't stop believing.
Next up is Ashley. She's 17 and she knows her way around a laptop.
I go to my email and look at gossip websites.
But hey, Ashley, say hello to the Commodore.
Oh my goodness. I think you could type things. Load a program. Where? Now what? Oh, that's not what I meant to type.
We can't show you what she wrote, but would she want something like this in her house?
Probably not, because you wouldn't be able to use internet.
Time now for the boys, 15-year-old Colton and 5-year-old Wyatt. They love their cutting-edge gaming systems.
Xbox 360 and a PSP. Call of Duty and Red Dead Redemption.
All right, fellas, time to leave the modern gaming behind. Meet the Atari 2600.
That's crazy. A joystick. I don't know how to shoot. Oh, I got it. It's hard.
It's crazy. Where am I?
I think it's just me, bud. Oh, it's hard.
Congrats, kids, you passed. And Mom feels like she taught the kids something about life in the good old 80s.
Appropriation, also known as New Realism. Appropriation is an art form that reinterprets previously published art. Reinterpreting the art gives it new meaning and displays the art with a different context. Appropriation art forms could be a photograph, painting, or piece of fine art. Appropriation artists usually choose to reinvent art to make a political statement or strengthen the impact a particular art form may have had on a group of people. Gretchen Bender practiced appropriation in the 80s. She silk-screened images of other artists' work and arranged them into geometric patterns. A very famous appropriation artist is Andy Warhol. Neo-expressionism is an art that expresses life in its truest form. Painters, sculptors, and sketch artists would create pieces that had real-life history to them, but at the same time added a little myth to it. This art style invoked people's imaginations while still getting a serious, maybe even political, idea across. Some pieces were immediately confiscated due to indecency. Graffiti is normally known as the destruction of property by spray painting words or symbols on private property. In the 1980s, graffiti became popular in the art world. These inventive decorative words and symbols were painted on canvas and drawn on paper as art. Graffiti quickly became popular because those that were once considered criminals for spraying graffiti on walls and trains were now famous artists getting paid to express themselves with that same graffiti.